Hello everyone, Lucy here, and today I'm here to talk to you about the guy behind me, Nosferatu. So I went and I saw Nosferatu 2024, and oh my god, it's so good, it's so much fun. So I'm here to just tell you about how much I liked it and how great I thought it was. Okay, let's see here. First off, this is very much a gothic horror movie. So if you're somebody who doesn't find gothic horror scary and whatnot, don't go into this movie expecting like crazy jump scares or anything like that. There are like a couple of jump scares because they've infected all horror movies, but like they're not like it's not. If you're expecting something like I don't know, crazy gory like Terrifier, you're not gonna get something like that. And if you're expecting like a vampire movie that's going to like go all out with the vampirism or whatever, it's not exactly going to be like that either. Like nobody else ends up turning into any kind of vampire. And if you've seen any of the Dracula adaptations, you should know that Nosferatu is different enough from Dracula that it's like, it's not really a one for one. It's similar, but it's not quite the same, you know? Anyway, I personally really like gothic horror. They don't scare me, but I do have a lot of fun watching them. And that's what I had this time around. I had a ton of fun watching Nosferatu, especially because, you see, I thought it was really funny. I already said before that I'm the type of person that kind of tends to laugh during horror movies because I don't really find them particularly serious. But like Nosferatu in particular, oh, it was so funny. There were moments where I felt like it was intentionally just being really funny, you know? So I was trying to take advantage of all of those. My friends can attest, the friends that took me to go see Nosferatu, or the friends that I went with to go see Nosferatu, they can attest that I was, like, it is really funny. We were all, like, giggling and trying our best to be kind of quiet so that everybody else could enjoy it too, you know? Anyway, we all kind of know the story of Nosferatu and whatnot, I feel like. But for people who are still kind of unsure, guy marries girl. Guy decides, I'm gonna go do this thing for my boss. Boss is crazy. Boss sends him to vampire. Vampire tries to eat him. He's like, oh no, vampire tried to eat me. Runs away. Vampire moves to be next door to be in the same town as main guy. Main guy goes home. Now his wife is like, oh great, now I gotta deal with all this mess. And that's basically the gist of it. Like, guy is stuck in a vampire movie but doesn't know that he's stuck in a vampire movie. And that's part of the fun now, isn't it? No, the movie was really, really funny. The movie was really good. If you've seen any of this director's, what's his name? Egger? I think his name is Egger. If you've seen any of Egger's like movies before, then you would know that his movies tend to be kind of slow and he focuses a lot about whether or not things are like historically accurate and stuff like that. Because of that, I had a ton of fun. Oh, I was looking at all the dresses. Oh, I really, really want to make some of those dresses. Oh, they're so pretty. Oh, the fashion. I did find it really funny that they're all supposed to be German, but instead of speaking in German accents, they were all British. Like, that was really funny to me. It's like, he decided, oh, well, it's not really accurate, but who cares? Let's make them all British and Germany for whatever reason. It's a really slow movie. There are sections that are kind of dark and difficult to see stuff, and I really liked how they changed up some of the implications, where it's like vampires are cursed in such a way to where they're literally, it's like a blob sort of thing, you know? Or like a sludge. It'll keep moving and it'll just keep going and going and going until you kill it, and it won't stop because it just has to eat everything around it. It has to absorb everything. It has to have everything, you know? Like, I thought it was interesting that, okay, this is kind of spoilery territory, but whatever. Warning you now, if you want to watch the movie and you care about spoilers. It's been out for like, what, a couple months already? Like, Anyway, so for the implication to be there that like Count Orlok doesn't actually have emotions in the way that like people feel regular emotions. Like he doesn't really feel love. Instead, he just feels desire and hunger and things like that. It's like he tells Ellen that like she's, oh, what was the line? He said something like absolutely crazy insane where he was all like, almost like a you have bewitched me sort of thing, but not quite. But it's also like the way that he phrased it, it let you know that it's not so much anything that Ellen did and not so much because of any like affection or emotion he has towards her. It's entirely just pure possessiveness. You know, like he doesn't want Ellen as the way that you would want a person that you love. He wants Ellen in the way that you would want a possession, like an object, a doll, or a toy. And he gets mad because like his little toy goes off to do, you know, she has her own thoughts, she has her own feelings, she has her own desires. And so she goes off and she follows those thoughts and feelings and desires. And he gets mad, like he gets genuinely really upset. But it's not upset as in, oh, I love her so much, I want her to be here with me. It's upset as in like, oh, how dare she like go off to someone else or whatever, you know? It's like, oh, how dare she like my possession run away from me. You know what I mean? It's like, I really liked that kind of implication, especially because in a lot of the Dracula and a lot of the Nosferatu kind of stories, they don't really follow that sort of thing exactly. Where, like, if I remember correctly, in the 70s Nosferatu, he kind of complains about how he wishes he could be more human-like. And he's all like, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I'm lonely, but I don't know how to fix it because I'm literally a vampire. Like, it's that whole mess. In the original 20s one, he's all like, rah, you know? Like, he's not exactly, like, being particularly, like, he wants to move, but it's more so he wants to move because he doesn't have anything left to eat. Like, he's just hungry. You know what I mean? It's like, he's sitting around and he's all like, I want to move from this place, but it's because everyone's scared of me. Everybody wears crosses and crucifixes. Everyone here is Catholic. I can't deal with this. Like, how am I supposed to have a nice little midnight snack when everybody's running around wearing a cross? How am I supposed to do that? Like, so instead he just moves. He's all like, I'm gonna move to Germany because we know that all those people don't wear crosses. And it's like, bro, I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that's how any of that works, but whatever. I feel like in the 20s Nosferatu, he's closer to like an animal, if that makes sense. In the way where he doesn't really desire anything other than to satiate his hunger. He just wants food. So he's running around just looking for food, and that's it. He doesn't really care about anything else. He's just like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go here and eat. I'm hungry, I'm gonna go over there and eat. Like, that's it. Like, versus in this new one where it's all like, he has emotions, but it's like twisted, you know? Like, it's not like proper, if that makes sense. It's not emotions that like your average person would be sitting there and be all like, you know what, I feel like that too. I also get mad when the girl that I met when she was like, 16 or whatever, like ran away and married somebody else, even though like realistically speaking, it never would have worked between either of us, and I'm also like 100,000,000 years old. Like, what am I doing chasing after a 16-year-old anyway? Like, it's not like that. It's like, he's like, oh, he doesn't like view humans as like human. Yeah, that's it. He doesn't view humans as human. He views humans as like animals, as kind of like pet. It's like he looks at Ellen as if he had like a pet pig, and he's all like, I have a little pet pig. I don't want to eat my little pet pig because it's my little pet pig or whatever. But he views like all the other humans as like bacon that he could eat whenever it is that he wants. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like that kind of makes sense. Also, I kind of like the idea of them using the whole vampire like mind thing as like almost like a possession sort of thing. I'm glad that they went with kind of like an exorcist sort of way of looking at it instead of like your traditional kind of vampire, oh, controlling you, making you do this and that. I found it interesting that they referred to him as a demon because like, I guess on technicality, vampires can be considered demons, you know, but like, I don't know. I've never really considered a vampire to be a demon. So that kind of thought process, I guess it makes sense. Like if you live in like, I don't know, the 1700s, you're running around, you hear about this critter that's running around biting people's ankles and sucking all their blood out. You'd probably think, wow, demon be upon me, you know? But like, I don't know. I guess vampires have been considered so separate from main demonology or whatever that I never really considered them to be one in the same or like a subsection. So I found it really interesting that they went with that kind of angle, and they also went with the whole possession thing, you know, like the whole crawling around on walls and twisting your head around and like bending backward in ways that make no sense and stuff like that. Also, what I find hysterical is all of the memes that have been made about just how weirdly horny this movie is. It makes sense, like in the context, like vampires, sexuality, sensuality, like taboos and things like that. It's been a thing since the very beginning. Vampires and sex go hand in hand the same way that werewolves and sex go hand in hand, in the same way that, like, I don't know, succubi and sex go hand in hand. It's one of those things where it's all like, it's to be expected, The same way how when you watch a possession movie, you're expecting somebody to curse out the priest and say some, like, really nasty shit about somebody who's dead. The same way that how when you watch, like, a slasher movie, you know that they're going to kill whoever it is has sex on screen. It's that kind of thing, Vampire movies have sensuality and have sex in them, and it's somewhat to be expected, unless you're watching a movie written by a Mormon or something, but, like, that's neither here nor there. It makes sense to me why they would make it like that, but I think that the way that they went about it was just really, really funny, and it was also genuinely interesting the way that they decided to go with it, if that makes sense. Because it's like, they could have gone the way of just having Orlok be, like, your traditional sexy vampire and have it all be, like, really sensual and really whatever. Like your traditional kind of vampire movie. But instead, they decided to go the whole, he has little chicken legs. He has little bony skeleton chicken legs. He's, like, falling apart at the seams. Like it's like they decided to do that whole thing instead, which I found genuinely, like, that's actually a good direction to take it. I find it, like, fascinating that they decided, let's try to not make him hot, and they somehow accidentally made him hot to a very specific subset of people anyway. Like, that is just so funny. And I've, like, talked to I talked to, like, one of my friends about this, and she was telling me, she was all like, dude, why is it like this? And I'm all like, vampires, and then she's all like, yeah, but at least make him, like, traditionally hot. And I'm like, well, some people think he's hot. And then she's all like, where do you hang out on the internet that you think that? Like, I don't know. I think it's a good decision. I think that it was actually a good, like, narrative decision for them to go with that, and for them to sort of, like, take this idea and drag it out as far as they could in the confines of your traditional kind of, like, vampire sort of movie, Like, I wasn't fully expecting everything to go the way that it did, because, like, but, like, I had seen the original Nosferatu. I have read Dracula who knows how many fucking times at this point. Like, it used to be one of my comfort books when I was little. That's why I am the way that I am. I used to read Dracula when I was little. Anyway, I think that it's narratively a good decision, what it is that they went with. And I love the way that the movie is. I love, just the way that the movie is, I very much enjoy. But also, I think it makes sense why some people were kind of, like, shocked or surprised going into the movie and then seeing, like, sexual-esque content and things like that. Like, it is sexual content, but, like, to me, it's like, it's like whatever. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, I saw everybody making all of these jokes about how horny and uncomfortable it was, and then I went to go see it, and I was all like, I thought it would be worse. Like, in my head, I was all like, oh my god, it's gonna be, like, crazy. It's gonna be like insane, but, like, you know what? It's not as bad. It's not as bad as it could have been. Ugh, it was just so good. I found it. It was just so good. And that ending shot and that ending scene, mwah, love it. Love that ending shot. Love that ending scene. Absolutely beautiful, amazing, great. Again, spoilers, whatever. That shot of her lying in bed and Willem Dafoe, like, putting the flowers around her, and then, like, Orlok, like, splayed out over her with his little, like, bony chicken legs and his little bony arms and all that. And, like, she looks like a proper, like, maiden or something. And then they, like, close her eyes and they have the flowers. And then that singular shot of, like, the sun shining on both of them in the bed. It's so good. Like, that shot was so good. Like, crazy. It's been living rent-free in the back of my head ever since I've seen this movie. Like, like, dead ass. It's sitting there. It's just sitting there, my guy. So, Nosferatu, great movie. Obsessed with it. Love it. I'm so glad that it's out on digital now. I am going to watch it again. Once I get a chance to see it, I am so going to watch it again. Like, oh my god, great movie. You should totally watch it. Don't expect it to be terrifying, like, oh my god, it's so gory, or oh my god, like, this thing happened, or oh my god, like, I can't sleep at night. It's not one of those. It's one of those where it's all like, damn, really fucked up that old men prey on young women, isn't it? Like, it's one of those that, like, it makes you consider the implications more than it makes you think about like what actually happened. Like you have to sit back and you have to think about it for a little while, you know? And I feel like if you're going in there expecting something that's going to scare you like in your face, like jump in your face, then like you're going to be disappointed. But if you're okay with something that's something that you kind of have to sit on for a bit, or like you watch it and it's like not super scary but like still enjoyable, like go ahead, watch the movie. It's good. It's fun. It's fun, funky, fresh. I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun watching this movie. It is so good. Like, please, please, please watch Nosferatu. Oh my god, it's such a good movie. And watch the original Nosferatu too. It is literally up on YouTube, like for free. Watch it. I'm gonna put it in the description. Like, I'm gonna put the original Nosferatu in the description because it's also very silly. Like, you can't. Like, I was expecting the level of silliness from the 20s Nosferatu to be in the current one, and I was so glad that it was. Anyway, please watch Nosferatu. It is a beautiful, great movie. It is out on digital now, so you have no excuse anymore. And the original one is on YouTube. Again, you have no excuse. Go watch Nosferatu. It is so good. I hope you had fun listening to me yap about Nosferatu. I hope you had a good time. Okay, bye-bye.
If you still want me, come and find me in my coffin. If you need me